Do you ever feel like if your life would just calm down, that you'd be able to think straight, you'd be able to get things done, you'd be able to sort things out? I have. I've felt like that lots of times. And you know what? Over the years, I've figured out several secrets to keeping my life calm. And so today, while I'm working on this glue book, which by the way, if you watch, it will calm you down. But I'm also talking about 10 secrets that I've found that calm me down and keep my life calm so that I'm never really in a flap and I'm never feeling really overwhelmed. I think you'll like it, so stay tuned. I'm going to be working on this travel size journal that I've been working on for some time, and I'm getting close to the end. So when I get to the end, I can do a whole flip through and that'll be fun. But for now, I'm in a pink kind of mood today. I found this paper, I pulled this one out, and a few others here. So what I think I might do is put this on one side, and I just kind of pulled out everything pink to see what I would like, and I think I like this one the best. So I'll be cutting that to fit on this side, but first let's do this. Now, what's new? First of all, I got some new glue, GLOO glue, because my other one had kind of gone solid on me. And I was away last week and went to Victoria with my sister-in-law. We both needed a holiday break. And that worked out well. She's lovely to be with, and we had lots of fun. But to get to my topic on how to calm your life down, there's some things that we did on our vacation too that kind of apply. And the first one I would say is turn down the noise. So if you're a person who always has to have the radio on or a podcast going or something like that, you might want to consider if it's contributing to your lack of calm and peaceful feelings. Because just having someone talk at you all the time, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. That's all I can say. It does not work for me. I'm not a fan of the radio as a whole. When I need information, yeah, sure. But just to have background noise, and if you do really like that, maybe just turn the volume down. That might just calm you down, because just consider having someone sort of almost shouting at you most of the time is not very peaceful. And just turning down the noise in your life, whatever that might look like. It might, I mean, if you're driving to work or, you know, whatever, maybe taking the quiet route instead of the usual honking traffic route. You know what I mean? So there's one idea for you. Just turn down the noise. And I have to say also, like, some households are noisy because everybody makes big noise. And well, I didn't grow up in a household like that, so I'm not a fan of it. My husband grew up in a household similar to that, so he likes to have some sound going on, but I like to have silence. And so we've worked out compromises, and you know, it works for us. But anyway, there's that thought. Just think how you can turn down the noise in your life, and you might find it just helps to sort of calm your whole system down. All right, for this one, I'd like to get this flower kind of in the middle, so I'm just going to cut a hunk of this off and see where it lands. Cut off that clock piece, and that almost fits exactly, so that makes it easy. Just cut off this edge. Okay, the second way is to cut out unhappy or unnecessary obligations. If you want your life to be calmer, cut out things that make you unhappy or overwrought or, downright miserable. So that's a thought you might want to entertain. What can you cut out? If it's making you unhappy, if it's making you stressed out, it's contributing to your lack of calm, then maybe it's time to take a second look at it. And I remember one time I was on an airplane coming home from Switzerland, where I had spent a month because my sister's husband had passed away. So I went over to be with her, and it was a difficult time, there's no question about that. And on the way home, I had time to think, because it's a long flight from where I live. I live on the west coast of Canada, so going to Europe is long. But it really gave me time to think about some things, and I thought, what do I need to cut out of my life? Or what do I need to change? And at the time, my children were in school, and I was on 2 parent advisory councils. And that meant meetings, and that meant conflict, and that meant making decisions and things like that. And I thought, you know what? I don't really want my life to be like this. I want my life to be calmer. I want time to do more of the things that I really care about, that I really love. I mean, I cared about my children, of course, and I cared about their education. But sometimes it felt like nothing was really happening anyway. Come on. It's decided to just stick where I put it, which wasn't very straight, but oh well. That can always be disguised. So there's some stuff there. So cutting out obligations that make you unhappy is a pretty good place to start, I think. This is pretty cute. It has some type in here, so I won't be able to use the whole thing, but I can certainly do this. Just put that down there. I like that. I can actually see a little bit of red on the edges here. Let me get rid of that. And the reason I say to cut out unhappy obligations is because sometimes I think we don't really realize how much stress doing things that make us really unhappy causes us. And you just think, well, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, And I've had a little reminder of that just recently, because I was asked to step up and do something at church. And I said, yeah, okay, I know people, well, frankly, I kind of wonder why people put things on that nobody wants to really participate in, and then they try and convince people to be part of something that, nobody wanted to do in the first place. However, sometimes there are valid reasons, and, that doesn't matter. However, I'm just taking this as a learning experience. It's not something that's hard to do. I would just prefer not to. And so, sometimes you have to just say, well, I'm doing my part. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing my part, but there you go. Anyway, I found this in my things. It's a little envelope. And it has a little note card that goes in it. So I think I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to distress the edges with pink. Because I have it. Worn lipstick. If you've ever worn lipstick, you know what that looks like after a while. It's not a very glamorous description, but it looks nice on this, so I'll use it anyway. And make this just a little pocket where a note could go. So it's sort of like a journal spot if one wanted to do such a thing. Anyway, so that was the second one, which is get yourself out of really unhappy or miserable obligations. And sometimes that includes family things, and, you know, I'm not going to go into all the possible things that could mean, but you probably know what goes on in your life and if that applies. The third one is kind of like the first one, and that is keep your voice down. If you're always shouting and feel like you have a need to talk loudly, maybe you might want to consider just turning the volume down a little bit. I have a soft voice, and I've been accused of having too soft a voice for most of my life. However, and that I should talk louder. But the thing is, talking louder requires a lot more effort for me. And it actually, if I have to talk loudly for a long time, it makes me very tired. So I'm in a position where if I'm in a noisy atmosphere, I have to lean in so people can actually read my lips while I'm talking. Because a lot of background noise and clatter. This is supposed to go in here. There it does, look at that. How cute is that? A lot of background cacophony actually drowns my voice out. And it requires a lot of energy to deal with that. So you might find that your system is calmer if you just talk more quietly. I don't know if that'll work for you, and I would like to hear if that would make a difference, because my life is not the same as everyone else's. Okay, I need some pink things. Now, I got out all these pink flowers, which are stickers, and hard to pick up. There we go. But I want to just pull out a few things that go with our pink theme. There's things that are sort of pinky on that. Oh, here's a cupcake. This would be kind of a good one. This one's really pink. Just get out some of these. And these are on my website in this shop at Summer Bay Studio, so you can go look at those if you're interested. The first step to a healthy lifestyle is self-care. I like that. I've got some pink flowers over here. Let's see what I've got in my tray here that'll work. Let's see where I go with this. Here's another way to calm down, which is a little bit different. That is, relax the muscles in your face and in your shoulders and neck. Even your hands can get tense and tight, and you kind of don't realize it. I find the muscles in my forehead kind of get tightened up sometimes, and I don't really realize it. And then it's like, I'm feeling tense, and I've learned to sort of stop myself and go, how can I calm this down? Okay, so there's a thought. Relax the muscles in your face, your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Just let everything kind of, you know, slide down, and realize that if you feel like your ears are pinned back or your eyebrows are up or whatever, that you can just relax those things, and it kind of calms your system down like that too. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's put this in first. All right, that was number 4. My number 5 is take alone breaks. So if you're in noisy places, if you work somewhere noisy, if you are in a place where there's a lot of talking going on, a lot of background noise, a lot of whatever, like these are things that make me tense because I'm a quiet introvert. So I've learned how to deal with some of these things. And taking an alone break works for me. Now that might be going outside, taking a little walk. It might be hiding in a bathroom. You know, what if I've been at a party and it's noisy and I'd really rather go home, and, you know, that sort of thing. Sometimes what I'll do is just go to the bathroom, even plug my ears sometimes if it's just way too noisy. I'll go where I can be alone and just bring the silence in and allow my body to calm down and my mind to calm down. Because I find for me, a lot of noise is agitating. It aggravates me. And if I start out stressed or in a situation that is inherently stressful or where you have to sort of be on, I find I need to just take bathroom breaks and just sit there for a minute, or just stand in the cubicle or whatever. I know that sounds a bit peculiar probably, but it works for me, so it might work for you. I thought I would cut some of this white off just to make it a little bit more pink. All right, number 6 is avoid people who continually upset you. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's people in your own family. Sometimes it's people in your social circles or whatever. For example, I'm not going to name names or situations necessarily, but there's a group that I attend, and there's one person who upsets me because he interrupts, he'll clap you on the shoulder and make you react to something or respond to something, and sometimes it's quite negative, which I don't like. That's, you know, you can bring that into the discussion as well. Just cut out a lot of negativity in your life, and your life will be calmer. And as an aside, this is a bonus, but don't listen to the news all the time. Once a day is more than plenty. And they tend to just repeat it all the time anyway, because, man, if you missed it the first time, then we got to make sure you hear it. So, and there's just things that you don't need to know about and don't need to hear. Like, I turned the radio on when I was driving yesterday, and it was about a tax hike. There was a big talk show on the channel that I like to listen to, and it was about a tax hike in a municipality that I'm not in. And so they were going on about how it affects the businesses and how mad the people are and blah, blah, blah. And I turned it off because it has nothing to do with me, and knowing it only affects me negatively. And so I don't need that. I want to preserve the peace in my life. And to do that, sometimes you need to just turn off that kind of stuff, anything negative. Just put a little pink around here as well. I think I'm running out of juice here. And the other thing is, sometimes these people who continually upset you are the people in your life. And I think sometimes they upset us because we're constantly wanting them to be different. We want them to change. We want them to stop being what they're like around us and that sort of thing. But you can't change that. You can't change another person. All you can do is change your response to people. And one of those things can be avoiding them. But sometimes it's, everybody comes for Christmas and you have to deal with Uncle so-and-so who's a loudmouth, or you have to deal with a relative who doesn't treat you well. And, so my strategy on that is to spend as little time with them in that situation. That's cute. I like that. I'll put this up next to this. And you'll find that if you avoid things that upset you, you don't have to try and calm down from them, because you don't get upset and out of sorts in the first place. So I was reading in a book this morning about a woman who was continually upset by her mother. And her husband said to her, it's like you want your mother is a lion and you want her to be a dog. And so you're always trying to get her to be a dog, but she's not a dog. She's a lion, and she's going to growl whenever you are near. And that's just a fact. And she said that basically changed her life just thinking about it like that, because she stopped trying so hard to make the relationship different from what it was. And sometimes you just have to go, okay, my relationship with this person hasn't changed in 20 years, and it's really not likely to, because he or she doesn't want to change, doesn't feel they need to, doesn't know that you're bothered or anything like that. So there's just that. Which leads me to the next one, number 7, which is stop trying to change what you can't change. That's people, but sometimes it's a situation. And having said that, I believe in exerting every effort to change what you can change. So my point here is, if it's just impossible to change, admit it and move on. And with some people, it just is impossible to change. With some situations, it's like, I remember once when I was younger, I had a job at this restaurant and I was kind of talked into taking it because it was closer to my home. And I had misgivings right from the start, but I thought, I kind of talked myself into it because I thought, well, it's closer to home. It's not as much gas to get there. It won't take me as long. And, I had small children at the time, so it was important to be home more than not and that sort of thing. And, but I took the job and it was a big mistake. I tried my best to make it better. And it was not possible to make it better. In fact, it just got worse. And not because of me, the situation just got worse. And so I finally had to admit that it was not getting better and it was unlikely to get better. And it was time for me to go elsewhere, to move on. I want this. Maybe I'll put it there and have the little thing sticking up. Let's do that. I think that's kind of cute. Okay, so that one is there. Number 8 is let go of anger. You can upset yourself so much by staying angry that you can basically ruin your health. And if you want a calm life, a peaceful life, sometimes you have to just let it go. And learn that sometimes the hard way. That I can stay angry at something that happened far too long ago to matter. And the only person it hurts is me. Well, I'm not sure I love it there, but I think it's okay. Can't get it off now anyway. I've got lots of roses and stuff. I want to put something in this area. Number 9 is talk to God about your problems and what you're thankful for, and just about everything. Just talk to God and listen. When you ask a question, stop what you're doing and listen, because God answers. And if you think you're wacko because God talks to you, you're wrong, because he says he's talking to us all the time. It's usually us who aren't listening that make it impossible to hear him. Okay. I love this teapot, but it's kind of big. I think it's too big for the space, as is this. I don't think it's going to work. It covers up too much. I love the cake on the pedestal, but the pedestal is too long. So should I cut it off? I'm not sure. And then I have the hand with the rose, which could go there quite comfortably. Perhaps I'll do it that way. All right. This glue is so great now that it's not too sticky. My old one, I accidentally didn't close it properly once and it just kind of dried up. There, that goes there. And I like the cake here, so let's do that anyway. So number 9, talk to God. Take your problems to him and talk it out. Like, sometimes we don't have anybody in our lives that we can just talk to. Keep in mind, if you've been told that God is mad at you, you've been lied to. That's untrue. God is not mad at you. He hasn't got it in for you. He loves you. He cares about what's going on in your life, and he wants to help you. I like that one. I'll have to cut the bottom off, but I can do that. So anyway, I would say talking to God is one of probably the best thing you can do to calm down. Just get alone and have a little chat and be honest, and don't try to perform, and don't try to be something you're not, because you're not fooling him anyway. There we go. I like that little piece of tape. It's so cute. Okay, we're almost at the end here. I need just a tiny thing to go right in here. That one's actually more red, isn't it? Number 10 is make a glue book. How's that for a great idea? If you want to calm down, do something that is calming. And making a glue book is one of those things. It can calm you right down because you have to go slowly. You have to think about whatever, as in, it's not a time to like be worked up. It'll calm you down. And so that's my number 10 suggestion. I love this little thing. It's just too cute. And if you want to get started on doing a glue book, I do have a video called Why I Make Glue Books and Why You Should Too. It has over 30,000 views. Has been very popular because there's good information in it. And it's the very basic of getting started making glue books. And so I would suggest you might want to do that. I think what I will do is just distress the edge of this page so that the white doesn't look quite so white. And just run it along here like this. And I think that works. So please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you get the notifications when I have a new video. Didn't mean to do that, put glue on my hand. Also, I would love it if you'd leave a comment and also click the like button because that tells the algorithm that you like it and other people might too. And before I go, I suggest that you watch either the next video that you'll see above here or just start the playlist on glue books. I think you'll really love it. And I'll see you next time.